I can't take anything away from Kendrick. He went absolutely apeshit on Drake. No matter what, Drake was going to lose this battle. Even though he can do a lot of things, he's not out rapping Dot. Even if we consider a clean battle without Dirt, he's not out rapping Dot. In order to have any possibility of winning, he had to go into the mud and get personal, but he was overwhelmed there by Kendrick as well. My barber KC mentioned the old boxing saying, which is, styles make fights, and this was a terrible matchup for Drake stylistically. Kendrick can do Muay Thai, he can be drunken master, he can box. Drake is more finesse and fares better with flashy, more finesse opponents. Don't get me wrong, Drake landed some shots. In my mind, the battle was closer than many people thought before Meet the Grams dropped. I think Drake's biggest punch was Family Matters, but Dot immediately countered. The battle within the battle here is Drake versus himself, which Dot mentioned. I think if this battle happens in 2011 when Drake is more likable, Drake still loses, but it would be closer in the court of public opinion as more people will be willing to defend him and make concessions for him. At this time, Drake was taking the game by storm. Women absolutely adored him. Keep in mind, this will be before the long list of self-inflicted wounds by Drake, which I will discuss. My thesis statement is, Drake went into this battle already on his last life bar and he didn't even know it. Drake's first sin is apathy. Before Asteroid Kendrick hit Planet Drake, Drake for a while had been accused of being creatively apathetic.
I think that kid on that album that I heard sounds real fucking uninspired.
And that was all the way back when Views dropped. For me as a fan of Drake's music, I think Take Care is his best album. That album was the perfect balance of rap, R&B, pop music that he specializes in. For others, it could be So Far Gone, Thank Me Later, Nothing Was the Same, or if you're reading this, It's Too Late. All of them were dope and riddled with bangers. However, most of these pieces of work are over 10 years old. Recently, many folks have been agreeing that they have seen a significant drop in quality of Drake's music. Drake isn't like Kendrick or Cole where he drops something, goes into hiding, takes his time, and then releases something new. Keep in mind, Drake's OG is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne took Jay-Z's model of dropping once every year and cranked it in the mixtape era. Lil Wayne's output in the early 2000s was unheard of. From mixtapes to albums, it seemed like Lil Wayne was dropping every other month. Drake comes from that same format. He never gives you a chance to miss him. That eventually watered down his quality. For me, in this quarter of his career, when Drake drops an album, I'm not expecting a great album. I'm expecting to find 4 or 5 slaps out of 15 or more songs to bump in the whip. For the bar he set early in his career, that is below average. But a drop off in quality isn't a fatal wound nowadays. Plenty of artists are skating. That's nothing new. I mentioned in a previous video how Drake portrayed black women who were his first adopters and eventually women in general. This occurred with him beefing with Rihanna, Serena, and Meg, followed by him saying free Tory Lanez, then going what many consider full incel on her loss. This, in my opinion, was him killing himself. If Drake is the calculated war general that he says that he is, with this move he swallowed a grenade. This is the equivalent of the NFL saying ticket holders who live in middle America can't come to our games or watch our games. This is the equivalent of Budweiser taking their product out of stores in the South. This is the equivalent of Starbucks not selling pumpkin flavored coffee in October. This is career suicide. Now with the stage tape that everyone is calling Drake a PDF file over, I can't watch it. From what people tell me, the tape looks crazy, especially with what I was told that he said. Sources say that the 17-year-old on the tape, who is now in her 30s, came out to defend Drake. I read that Millie Bobby Brown came out to defend Drake after it was revealed that Drake was texting her when she was a teenager. There was an incident with Drake texting Billie Eilish before she turned 18. When that was made public, Billie Eilish defended Drake. So no one truly knows for sure. What we know is that it just looks mad weird that these occurrences keep occurring. Furthermore, no one knows about the allegations of domestic abuse that Drake has accused Dot of. Here's an excerpt from an article in The Fader called Kendrick Lamar and Drake Took It As Far As We Demanded by Vivian Medithi. Vivian, if I butchered your last name, my apologies. She has a great take on the battle, but also on rap beef as a whole. She writes, "It should go without saying that using allegations of sexual violence as a gotcha to score points in a rap beef is deeply misogynist, objectifying survivors and commodifying their trauma. Kendrick tapped Kodak Black on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers pretty much to exclusively try and make some weird point about cancel culture. Drake started posting free Tory Lanez as some fucked up vendetta against Megan Thee Stallion. These are not two men who care about women's rights." It should be underscored that neither rapper is producing any receipts. This doesn't even reach the level of quote-unquote believed survivors. We are talking about two grown men in their late 30s trying to win a popularity contest on social media by saying, actually, the other guy hurts women and children more. That said, Drake is definitely on the back foot thanks to the resurfacing video of a clip of the Canadian rapper kissing a 17-year-old on stage in 2010, not to mention his longtime friendship with Baka Not Nice, his bodyguard who pleaded guilty to assaulting a woman in 2015. Not in the same house, but on the same block. Have y'all seen those Ruby Rose tweets? She mentioned that a handful of rappers were pressing her when she was underage. The rap reckoning may be on its way. Hip Hop Ragnarok may be on its way. So what's next for Drake? Really quick, I gotta pay some bills. Lampro MD is a black woman-owned business located in Baltimore, Maryland. Its service areas include the full DMV, Southern Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Lampro boasts over 25 years of experience in the IT field. Services include fiber optic cable installation, structured network cabling for voice and data, network router switch, firewalls, wireless installs, DMARC extensions, point of sale network, decommissions, network moves, network cameras, and anything that has to do with voice or data. Lampro's mission is to provide high quality service for its clients. Their technicians go above and beyond to cater to the various needs of each project. I'm going to bring out my crystal ball here. I'm going to use the past to predict the future. I'm going to use a farmer's almanac to predict the harvest. Now, Drake is going to go silent for 6 months to a year or longer. He's going to mysteriously drop a snippet of a banger. People are going to be like, oh shit, this sounds like old Drake. Following the release of that snippet, he's going to drop not his best album, but his most focused rap album, i.e. what For All the Dogs should have sounded like. He's going to win a lot of people back with this release. Cut to you on the way to the club, the function, or the game night. You'll stop at a red light and someone next to you will pull up with the windows down bumping that new Drake. I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. What I'm telling you is my eyes and my ears have seen, heard this movie over 100 times now.